Stafford Sheridan here with my friend Matt Wyatt. I know you've got at least one good Jackie Sherrill story.
Several. Well, first of all, an update on Coach Sherrill. You know, we got to see him this past year. We had the reunion for the '98 team,
Yeah.
which was our Western Division Championship team. So it was great to see him. All the guys were back. He was walking with a stick.
I saw that.
It wasn't a cane, it was a big stick. So, and his hair turned white, so the guys were telling me he looked like Moses coming out of the tunnel
Oh, that's awesome.
at the stadium. But that was because he was about to have hip surgery, and he had that, and he's doing well, according to Peggy, his wife. So there's the update.
That's good.
He's doing well. Yeah, lots of stories. My favorite about Coach Sherrill was he had a certain type of punishment that he would give if you deserved it, if you missed class or broke a rule. It had a name. I can't say what the name is, right? You know,
Yeah,
you'd have to ask me off the air what the name of his punishment was, but we all knew the name, right? And we gave it initials. We were in spring practice. I was a redshirt freshman. My mother and my dad and my little sister were all coming for the weekend. We had a Friday practice. So they came early. They're standing on the practice field, watching practice, waiting for practice to be over and everything. And we get done. I had to do some extra drills, quarterback stay late. And I walked over, I'm about to leave. Hey mama, big hug. Hey daddy, hey sister, great to see y'all. And I hear Coach Sherrill whistle. He had this classic whistle and we all knew it. I look, and with that big hand, he looks at me and he goes, I'll go walking over to him. He says, we're on the practice field now, everybody's leaving. He says, did you miss your algebra class this week? Did you miss one? I said, yeah. Yes, sir, I did. He goes, all right, you got one of these. I said, right now? He said, yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it right now. Now I'm gonna tell you what it was. I said, Coach, my family's here. Mom, Dad, can I hit it next week? He goes, it'd be good for them to see it. And what you had to do was, you do up downs. He'd blow the whistle, you do up downs until you're good and worn out. And then you had to lay on the goal line and roll on the ground. Like laying down, you had to roll 100 yards to the other goal line and then roll back. And as you know, like, that's gonna make anybody sick. Like,
You're gonna throw up.
You're going to throw up. And so he stood there with my mom and dad and my sister blowing the whistle, doing up down. They all watched me do up down. I was the only one. And then they watched me roll 100 yards and roll back, throw up, and then I had to tell them why. My experience with him was pretty intimate early on, that if he set a rule and told you this is what's gonna happen if you break the rule, he stuck to it. Nobody got any special treatment. It didn't matter if mom and daddy were standing there or not. You know, the year we won the West, '98, he was making $300,000 a year as the head coach.
That's crazy, isn't it? Well, I do need to ask you this too. Does anybody have more come from behind victories in one season than Matt Wyatt?
Than we did in '99. I don't think so.
Not in one season.
And the Auburn game that year in '99, you know, the big comeback.
The sandwich catch.
Yeah, that's what it was, the sandwich catch. At the end of the game, that for a long time was the largest fourth quarter comeback that the school had.
I didn't realize that.
Until Will Rogers and Mike Leach came back a couple of years ago at Auburn. Same place, same school, same stadium, and they topped that record.
That was how explosive what he had going on was.
Look,
I mean, if Rogers got in a groove, it's like it's over. You can't stop him.
If that offense, that Mike Leach offense, if he found something that you couldn't stop, you finna have a long day.
Yeah.
Because he was going to
run it over and over again.
Over and
until
over
they stop it.
That's it. And you know, that day against Auburn, I think Will threw 6 touchdowns.
It was unreal.
5 of them were the same play on the goal line, run the same mesh route over and over. Auburn could not cover it. And that was a fun day.
Yeah, it was a fun. I mean, you've obviously hit a groove, color analyst wise, that you enjoy it. You have a lot of enjoyment out of that.
I do. And you know what? Kind of hitting a groove, getting a little bit of a groove is the right term. Because you and I were talking earlier, my first few years as the analyst in the booth on radio, I would get really into it. It was almost like I'm on the sideline, I'm emotional, and I shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Because I'm on the radio, you got to be a pro, right? And I would yell or holler or say something when I shouldn't say something. And now, after enough years of it, I'm pushing 13, 14, 15 in the booth, something like that. But I'm sort of getting where now I can manage my emotions a little bit and sort of be a pro, analyze it, remember that there are people on their combine and Drew listening that they don't need to hear me holler and scream. They need to get the info. And I really enjoy it. I really do.
Let's eat this food, dude.
Man, I'm ready.
Because we've waited long enough, and I got the Jaybird, and you got the fried chicken.
Yeah. I got fried chicken and I got dark meat. What do you think about that?
At home, I'm a dark meat guy. But a good judge of chicken is if they can cook the breast and it's not dried out.
Not dried
That's
out.
a pretty good, because most of the time you go places, the breast is dry. I actually had the exact same thing you've got right now.
Okay.
But so that's why this time I decided to get the sandwich. And it is, my experience was a good experience. I'm not going to tell you too much because I want to see what you think.
Okay. So how do we do this, Dad? We just dive in?
We dive in, man.
I'm going leg first and then I'm going to dip.
And this looks good.
Yeah. Hey, I'm not just saying this because I'm on camera. That is really good, man.
This is very good. It's got a little barbecue sauce on it. And something else, I don't know what, some other kind of sauce, and then cheddar cheese and bacon. And their batter just like that on the chicken is really good.
So while you're chewing, I'm not an expert, but like when you bite into this, it is that batter, that fry is like just right, exactly what you want. It's not too soft and like,
It's light and crispy.
It's light and crispy. Thank you. I'm trying to come up with the right words. It's not too soft, and it's also not like overcooked.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
So it's plenty juicy.
Plenty juicy.
One of the things people do that my experience is salt is a very fine balance. You know, I think about what the Bible says. God says, be salt of the earth.
Right.
So salt's a good thing, but it can also be a bad thing.
Right.
You don't want to oversalt something, because you don't want to undersalt it. So there's that balance in there.
Yeah.
They got it.
They've got it right. Hey,
I like the barbecue sauce.
man, the crust on this chicken,
I'm telling you.
it may be, I mean, like, it's some of the best I've ever had.
I'm serious. But that's as good as I've had, man.
Buddy, let me tell you something. I've got some sauce here. I'm going to dip it in. I don't really know what that is, but I'm going to try and see. Oh, boy.
What is that? I don't think I had it.
Okay. It's very, like, sour. It's a little bit hot. It's not buffalo. It's something different. I can't imagine cooking it better, like in terms of kind of having it down to a science. And that crust on that chicken, that's the best I've ever had.
I don't think there's any better. There's some as good in Mississippi. I don't think there's any better than King Chicken here.
Yeah.
So what's your score? You gonna score it?
Well, here's what I would say, based on what you just said, and I'm a total novice. It's got to be somewhere around 9.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So if it's, because, you know, you take, like, it's right here on the McCullough Boulevard, Highway 78, which is I-22 exit right now at Belden.
Easy to get to.
Yeah, so let's just say you're traveling north on 45 in Tupelo, like you're headed to Corinth. You should, if you want to eat, you should absolutely get off. It's only 10, 12 miles to get over here and eat this and then get back on the highway.
If you like fried chicken, that's your thing, this is as good as it gets, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that.
The fried chicken's better than the sandwich, but the sandwich is still in the 8s, you know. I'd say the sandwich is in the low 8s, like a 8.1, 8.2. But that chicken, I was like you, I rated it in the 9s. I can't remember exactly.
You did? Okay.
Yeah, like 9.3 or something like that, like low 9s.
Yeah.
Man, thank you so much for being on.
My pleasure.
That was a lot of fun. And I'm looking forward to the Mississippi Outdoors podcast.
Yeah.
You started it already,
Yeah,
haven't
they
you?
just launched it this week.
That's awesome.
Right, MDWFP. They've had Mississippi Outdoors forever, and so kind of have added a podcast because we live in a podcast.
Because why not?
Yeah, why not? I have the easiest job. Sit down. I'm not an expert. I talk to an expert or an entertaining person and just ask questions. And so we'll get you on there one day.
I'd love to.
Yeah.
Again, thank you, man.
It's my pleasure.
Absolutely.
Great.